Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 13th November 2024. So let's get started with our discussion. So there are around 8 to 9 articles which are relevant from our examination point of view in today's newspaper. Let us see those. So see this title, guys. Food prices per retail inflation to 6.2% in October. So what is the keyword here? There is increasing of food prices. So because of this, it is causing a retail inflation. So what is the keyword from this article? Keyword is inflation. So what is meaning of inflation? So inflation is nothing but it is a tendency of rise of prices of what? Goods and services in the market. So here this article is talking about retail price. So retail inflation. So it is talking about retail inflation. That means increasing of retail price. So if you're buying any good or anything, you will be seeing MRP, right? So this article is saying that there is increasing of MRP of goods and services. Okay, so retailers are nothing but at which level? At consumer level. So you and me, whenever you're going to any shop to buy any things, that is called as retail price, that is called as retail inflation. Okay, now here this article is saying that there is increasing of retail price or retail inflation. The important primary reason behind this is increase of food prices. So in this food prices, they gave example of increasing of vegetable prices now. Because of increasing of vegetable price, there is increasing of retail inflation. So what are the dimensions you have to see? So actually you will be seeing this topic. It is one of the important chapter in your GS paper 3. And there is a very high chance of getting question regarding your prelims and as well as mains. So in mains 2024, there was a direct question from our analysis, that is what is the reason of inflation now. And even from your prelims, you will be getting some basic static related topics, like you have to know what is this inflation, and next you have to see types of inflation. So in types, we have 3 types. First one is types cost push, demand pull, and next one is built-in inflation. And you have to see what are the causes of inflation, and you have to see what is the impact of inflation, and you have to see measures to control this inflation. In these measures, we have measures taken by government, which comes under fiscal policy, and measures taken by RBI, which comes under monetary policy. And you have to see about committee recommendations, different committee recommendations. For example, there is one committee which says that we have to maintain inflation 4 plus or 2%, 4 plus or minus 2%, that is between 2 to 6%. So you have to let me know which committee gave this recommendation of maintaining of inflation within this 4 plus or minus 2. Which committee? Which committee, Manoj? Yes, NK Singh committee. Okay, so here these are the things that you have to see from this inflation, then you will be done with your mains and as well as prelims part. So now let us see what does this article is saying now. So it is saying that food prices had been increased by 10.9, that is around 11% of increasing of food prices in month of October. So because of this, inflation is 6.2%. So what is the recommendations of a committee? 4 plus or minus 2, that means 2 to 6. 6 is the maximum level. Now it had been crossed the limit of 6.2% now. Because of this is the news. So especially if you compare this vegetable prices from last 5 years, so this year, especially in the month of October, this vegetable price had been increased by 42%. And even price of edible oil, which also had been increased to 9.5%. So because of these two major reasons, there is increasing of food price now. And if you compare with the rural areas and urban areas, so urban food inflation had been reached 11%. So because of this, now it is becoming a challenge for RBI to adjust interest rates. Okay, so this is the thing which mainly said. And now let us see the key points that you have to remember. So first one is there is an impact of food prices on inflation. So because of substantial rise of food prices, it is one of the primary driver of overall inflation in our country. And because of that, what happened whenever the food price is happening, whether the demand from the consumer will be increasing or decreasing. Earlier, if you are buying 1 kg or 2 kg tomato, if the tomato price had been increased, you will be getting limited to either 250 grams or 500 grams, right? So here, that will lead to decreased consumer spending in even other sectors as well. And next one here is vegetable price volatility. There is increased vegetable price. So what might be the reasons behind this increasing of this vegetable prices? Seasonal. Okay, next. Because of floods. Okay, next. Soil fertility. Next. Okay, rainfall. So actually the important problem here is there is also supply chain disruptions. If these vegetables are growing in the rural areas, if we don't have proper supply chain, or if we are not having the proper logistics and proper cold storage system, etc., it will be also affecting the prices of this vegetable. And even volatility, especially in the weather seasons, and as well as even harvest had been affected because of all these things. So here this article is saying that we need better resilience so that we can maintain proper prices in this agriculture. And this one here is even there is increasing of price of this edible oil. So edible oil price had been increased by 9.5%. So here why? Because of global supply chain disruptions. So most of the oil that we are getting from different countries. So for example, recently palm oil, regarding this palm oil, we also discussed something in current affairs. What is that? Okay, due to festivals, there is increase in the demand for this, which oil? Palm oil. So from which country we are importing this palm oil? Indonesia and? Yes, Malaysia. So from where we are getting the sunflower oil from? Ukraine. So because of this global supply chain disruptions, obviously that led to the volatility in international markets, that will lead to the increase or decreasing of price accordingly. And if you are comparing with urban versus rural areas inflation, so in rural areas inflation is 6.57% and urban areas that is 5.6%. So whenever inflation is happening, so what happens with the people living standard of living will be increased or decreased? Decreased. So because of this, if inflation is high in rural areas compared to the urban areas, so what now the people in these rural areas will do? They will try to shift or migrate towards urban areas. So again it will cause rural to urban migration. That will cause financial strain or not. This is also one important problem that we are going to face now is increased trend of urban to rural to urban migration in search of better opportunities. And this one here is about monetary policy implications. So current inflation, already recently RBI had been increasing the interest rate. So if again it is increasing the interest rate, it will be not good for long-term sustainability of our economy. Again, what happened whenever there is increasing of interest rates, the borrowing cost for the people will be getting increased. So that will people go for borrowing in the banks? No. Will they focus on investments? No. Again, that will lead to further inflation. Okay, so this is the thing which mainly said, so what the future projection should be. The government need to take proper controlling of price of food, and as well as we have to focus on improving of supply conditions. We have to address these issues of supply chain disruptions at global level and as well as at the domestic level, so that we can maintain proper monitoring and as well as interventions in this controlling of prices. Okay, see the second article. Government cites 17 reasons to cancel FCRA registration. So have you heard this word FCRA anywhere, unfortunately or accidentally? Even in ethics class I said about this FCRA. What is this FCRA? In chapter 7, in probity and governance, in the topic of corruption, that is the last topic. What is this FCRA? Yes, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So it is this act is controlling what? Foreign contributions. So who will take these foreign contributions? NGOs. Why? Why NGOs will take or accept these foreign contributions? Okay, main source of fund of NGO is foreign contribution, as I accept. So after taking that foreign funds, whether they will be utilizing that funds for the things that they receive for, sometimes there will be the misuse of funds. So to control the misuse of these foreign funds and to control the foreign interference in India, or like Indian sovereignty or territory or anything, so government came up with this act which will be controlling the organizations which accept this foreign contribution. That is called as Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So actually this article is saying that now here government can cancel registration of NGO based on 17 reasons. So if these reasons they are not, if these conditions, if they are not following by any NGO, but it is accepting the foreign contribution, then the registration of that NGO can be cancelled. So this is the meaning of this. So where exactly you will be studying about this FCRA, guys? FCRA, where you will be studying about? So first one is under GS paper 2 from governance point, and from GS paper 3 under, GS paper 4 under ethics. Under this probity in governance, that is chapter 7, you will be reading this topic. And even it is talking about foreign contribution, obviously it will be coming under part of our GS paper 2 under international relations. So what exactly you have to see is, what is this FCRA and what are the provisions are there in FCRA. And in this FCRA also we came up with recent amendments. In 2010 we made amendment, and recently in 2020 we made amendments. You have to see those amendments, and you have to see what are the advantages of this act and what are the challenges of this act. What are the advantages and what are the challenges? On another side, it is talking about cancellation of registration of NGO. So NGO is a direct topic under your governance. So here you have to know what is this NGO. You have to know the examples of NGO. So what are the main mission or aims or objectives of this NGO, and what are the challenges of NGO. So this part, it is static, and there is also a high chance of getting question here in this NGO part from your mains for 10 marker question for sure. Okay, now let us see this topic in detail. So Union Ministry now outlined 17 reasons. By using that 17 reasons, now Government of India can cancel FCRA registration of NGO. So if they are not complying with these 17 reasons now, so now it is the power of the Government of India to cancel that registration of NGO which had been registered under this FCRA. So the some important key reasons, they were misuse of funds, and second one is if they are involving in any anti-developmental activities in India, and this one is if they are inciting any protest inside our country, if it is causing any law and order problem in our country. And this one is whenever they are engaging with any religious conversions in India. So whenever they are even failing to comply with the legal requirements, then based on this, government can cancel its registration. And now here NGO can face cancellation if they do not utilize the fund according to the stated objectives. For example, we are having some NGOs which will be focusing on only elderly people. Some NGOs focus on education. Some NGOs focus on standard of doing some charity like that. So whatever the stated objectives they have, so if they are not working on the stated objectives, if they are misusing the funds, they will be even get prosecutions against officials who are involved in that NGO. So this is the thing which mainly said, and this is the gist of this article. So now let us see one by one point. So now government increased scrutiny, which indicates that tightening the grip on how NGOs operate. Particularly our Government of India is concerning about foreign funding. So now government is coming up with increasing of oversight on this NGOs which are receiving these foreign funds, so that we will be ensuring social harmony. For example, if there is any NGO which is receiving foreign funds, if it is propagating any protest against Government of India, or if it is focusing on religious conversions to Christianity like that, or like For example, if they are doing anything which is against the development of our country, is that good for social harmony? No. So it is the responsibility of our country, of our government of India, to maintain proper safety of the people, security of the people, and maintaining of law and order. So those things that now government is focusing on, especially on these NGOs which are receiving foreign funds. And next one is impact on development. So here now government of India included one of the provision is anti-development activities. So here, whenever NGOs, they are opposing the policies or initiatives of government, then what happened? So it will be obstructing the developmental projects at the grassroots level. So it will be curtailed now. And even government is also focusing on religious sensitivities, like highlighting religious conversions as a reasons for cancellation. So what happens? So actually we are a very secular country. Secularism in India means nothing but all religions are equal. So how government can promote the conversions of one religion into another religion? No, right? So even if you are getting any question regarding how government is ensuring secularism in India, you can also add this point. Government now started controlling NGOs regarding NGOs which are taking any foreign funds, but if they are involving in this religious conservations, so their license will be getting cancelled. So like that, you can add this point there, like in secularism, which comes under your polity part. And next one here is, government is saying that we need to require more transparency and accountability in this NGO sector, so that we can improve proper governance among the organizations. And even government is also focusing on legal accountability. So whatever the pending prosecutions are there, so we are going to also see that if they are involving in illegal activities, in that pending also they will be going for cancelling of license of NGOs. So these are the points that you have to remember. And see some facts. So these facts in this box are important for your prelims. So when we came up with this FCRA Act in year 1976, it is very important. So what happened in 1975? Emergency. So during this emergency period, there was lots of concerns about foreign interference in our Indian affairs through financial support to independent organization. So because of this, after this emergency in 1976, we came up with this enactment of this act, which will be regulating foreign donations to prevent adverse impact on our internal security. And actually, we are focusing on especially Democratic Republic. In this sovereign Democratic Republic, there should not be any interference of other country, right? So we want to ensure this. So because of this, we came up with this FCRA Act. And if you see this FCRA Act, which had been amended in 2010 and as well as in 2020, in 2010 amendments, so we made regulations governing the acceptance and usage of foreign contribution by specific individuals and specific associations. So at that time, we also included this word individuals who all get this foreign funds, how they have to use that. And later on in 2020, we made some more additional requirements, like if there is any NGO, it have to provide its Aadhaar number. So Aadhaar number is should be given, especially who are the key functionaries of this NGO, they have to give their Aadhaar number. And next one here is, even they have to submit the receipt of foreign contribution, and only they can take this or accept the foreign contributions through the State Bank of India, not any other bank. And next one is, there is complete ban on domestic transfer of foreign funds. And even under this 2020, one more important key change was, whatever the administrative expenditure they are doing, for example, salaries, maintaining rent or anything, so they decrease it from 50% to 20%. They should not spend more than 20% of foreign funds just for the administration purpose. So these are the major changes we made in this FCRA. Okay, so FCRA is applicable for all associations, groups, NGOs which are receiving foreign donation, not only for NGOs, but even for any association, any group, it is applicable if they are receiving foreign contributions. And whenever they are getting permission under this FCRA, so permission will be given for 5 years. And after that 5 years, if they are following the rules and norms according to that, they can go for renewal of that permission. So who will be the monitoring authority under this? Ministry of Home Affairs. It is very, very important. So Ministry of Home Affairs is the monitoring authority of this FCRA. Okay, now let us see the next topic. So see the title, India going for adaptive defense, says Rajnath. So the keyword here is adaptive defense. So here there is a very high chance of getting a prelims question like recently adaptive defense is in use, what this word means. Or choose the correct option which correctly or which says about, which explains about this word adaptive defense. So what is the meaning of adaptive defense? Adaptation, what is the meaning of adaptation? We acquire the adapting means adapting to environment. Because of adaptation, we are getting some new traits or we are losing the traits. What is the meaning of adaptation? We'll get this word in environment, acclimatization, adaptation. What is this meaning of adaptation? Adapter, engineering guys, adapter. What is this meaning of adapter? Similar words, adaptation, adapter. Engineering guys, how many of you are there? What is meaning of adapter? What is adaptation? To acquire what? Based on the changing needs, you will be adjusting to the changing needs. That is called as adaptation. So what is the meaning of adaptive defense here? Yeah, adaptive defense. At least try, guys. I want exactly, at least similar. So actually, if you compare with the earlier and now, whatever the threats you are having, is that same? So tell me about the new kind of threats we are having now. Yes, cyber threats. So based on that, we are also changing our technology, which will be addressing those new kind of challenges. That is called as adaptive defense. So here in this in this itself they gave, in the second paragraph, adaptive defense, it is a strategic approach, right up. Adaptive defense is a strategic approach where a nation's military and defense mechanisms continuously evolve to counter emerging threats effectively. So on this small paragraph, you can get a question. Or else you can get even a mains question. Recently, our defense minister said about adaptive technology. So in this context, what is adaptive defense and what are the applications of this adaptive defense, or what are the advantages of the adaptive defense? So in this way also you can get a question. Okay, you have to be prepared well. If you're getting any question, you have to write at least 5 to 6 points on that. Okay, see the next article. Despite challenges, progress made in trade between India and Russia, says minister. So what is happening between India and Russia? What is happening? Bilateral relations, okay. So what is this article might be telling? So what? Uh-huh. Okay, so it is talking about, yes, we are having good trade. So in which areas we are having good trade? Okay, crude oil, next. Defense, okay. Next. I want one important sector where India is good at exporting things to Russia. Yes, pharmaceutical. So actually Russia and Ukraine, they are in war. From how many years? From more than 2 years, right? So because of this, India is supplying a lot of pharmaceuticals for these countries now. So Russia is dependent on Indian pharmaceuticals. So here, this article is saying that, so there is a problem between India and Russia trade regarding payment system. Can you tell me what is that payment system? One car name. SWIFT. So there is some problem regarding SWIFT payment system where Russia had been banned. So even though we are moving forward in the trade, so this is a thing which mainly said. Okay. So this article is important from your GS paper to under international relations. And even here you have to say about Russia-Ukraine issue. So actually India is coming forward to come up with a peace between this Russia and Ukraine. And even regarding Ukraine also, our Prime Minister, he visited, and he gave some humanitarian aid like Bhishma cubes to this Ukraine, right? So here, how it is going to be affected on Russia-India relations? So in this way also you may get question, okay? So now let us see the context, guys. So despite payment and logistical challenges, India and Russia have made significant progress in trade with 5-fold increase in turnover. So from last 5 years onwards, there is increasing of trade, that too 5 times between India and Russia. So this is a thing which mainly said by our External Affairs Minister. And both nations now they are working for enhancing connectivity and as well as cooperation in some crucial sectors like food, energy, health, security, etc. So in these areas we are focusing, and especially now we are focusing on the payment in local currency, that is rupee ruble trade. Okay, now let us see the key points which are given in this article. The first one is trade resilience. Despite of lot of challenges, we don't have proper supply chains. Supply chain disruption happened because of Russia-Ukraine crisis, and there is no proper payment system. Even though 5 times there is increasing of trade, despite of global geopolitical tensions, that means we can. This is indicating that there is a proper resilient economic partnership between India and Russia. And so in this way, we are showing commitment to maintain strong bilateral relations between India and Russia. And next one here is, yes, what are the targets of trade between India and Russia? So the ambitious target of $100 billions. So even this number we read somewhere, $100 billions. Where exactly? COP19? Climate finance, right? Okay. So remember this number, $100 billion. It is nothing but the climate finance target, and even it is a target of trade between India and Russia. It is easy to remember. So that to target by 2030 showcases that yes, we are going to have the potential future growth of trade between these two countries. And next one here is we are having some challenges in logistics. That is, it had been excluded from the SWIFT payment system, so that we are going to come up with some innovative solutions where we can go for payment in local currency, so that we can enhance economic sovereignty of these both countries. And now we have to focus on energy and food security. So Russia's role as a major supplier of energy and fertilizer signifies a deepening of interdependence. So actually, so we are getting most of this energy, and as well as even India is exporting the food grains, and for food security, everything. So cooperation between these two countries is very, very important. So here we have to maintain a proper buffer for this global supply chain disruptions. And this one is India is very good in pharmaceutical industry, that you all know that. So India is contributing a lot of pharmaceuticals to these countries, so that here between this Russia and India, not only defense, not only energy, but even health security is one of the important area where we can focus. Okay, so these are things. And see this image, guys. So what is this image is about? Have you seen this festival anywhere? So what is this? Is that these belongs to which state, these people? Huh? Which state? Any guess? By seeing the traditional attire, their jewelry. Not Odisha. So what are there in their hands? Huh? Not agarbatti. Not Gujarat. They belongs to Uttarakhand. Okay, so they are celebrating a festival. That festival is called as Budi Diwali. Budi Diwali. So it is very important. Okay, Uttarakhand state, it is a rich in culture and tradition. So actually they are celebrating this unique festival that is called as Igas Bagwal. So Igas Bagwal is also called as Budi Diwali or Harbudini Ekadashi. So they celebrate this festival exactly after when we normally when we celebrate Diwali, after this Diwali, exactly after 11 days they will be celebrating this Diwali. So why after 11 days they will be celebrating this Diwali? So what is the reason why we will be celebrating Diwali? So there are two stories regarding this Diwali. First one is killed Narkasura, and second one is Ram came back to Ayodhya. So actually the mythology regarding this people, they celebrate this festival after 11 days is they came to know after 11 days that Rama came to Ayodhya. So because of information lag, they are celebrating 11 days after this Diwali. Okay, so this is Budi Diwali. So if you see the mythological and historical significance of this festival, so first one is return of Lord Rama to Ayodhya. According to local mythology, the people of Uttarakhand, they first celebrated this festival when they received the news of Lord Rama returned to Ayodhya after his exile, that too very late. So because of information, because of lack of technology, they received 11 days after. So that they are celebrating this festival on this Kartik Shukla Ekadashi. And this is their own Diwali. And second important story here is victory of Madhav Singh Bandari. Madhav Singh Bandari. So another prominent legend attributes was this Madhav Singh Bandari. He was a warrior from this Gaharwal region, and he led his army, and finally and this war he became victory against Tibet. So because of this also they will be celebrating this festival. So two important reasons. And what is the relevance of this festival in the modern society? So one thing you have to remember, guys. So as I said, whatever the thing you will be reading in your art and culture point, either dances, either festivals, either music, either dance, they will be asking about what is the relevance in the present society. Okay, so why these people, they will be celebrating this? What is the relevance in the present society? So why will be celebrating about these festivals now? Okay, protecting of culture. Next, unity and diversity. Okay, next, while celebrate these things. Okay, to give the information to the next generation. Okay, next, to help our economy. For example, increase demand for palm oil. Next. Everyone will be gathering at one place in these festivals, right? For social harmony. Next. Wine shops. So in today's rapidly changing world, so this festival remains as a meaningful tradition for the people of Uttarakhand. So actually the people who migrated from that areas to the nearby cities or other parts of the country, so this festival is providing an opportunity to reconnect with their culture roots. And they will be protecting on their heritage, and they will celebrate their heritage in this festival. And these festivals will be helpful for maintaining of connections with their traditions, and it will be helpful for passing down of those traditions to the next generations or younger generations. And even they will be spreading awareness and even making younger generation more conscious about their cultural legacy. If you are not celebrating all these things, whether this next generation people, they know? No, they don't know. And will they ensure the proper protection of their culture? No. So even in our DPSP and fundamental rights, they will say that we have to protect our culture, protect our rich heritage. So can we maintain that? No. So because of this is the present relevance of this celebrating of festivals. Okay. Yeah, say this article. DRDO carries out test of long range cruise missile. So what is the keyword? Okay, what is this missile? Missile means what? Is this a rocket? No. What is the difference then? What is a rocket and what is a missile? Okay, missile carries warheads. So how many types of missiles we have based on the range? Short range, medium range and long range. So can you tell me the number? Figures, how many kilometers comes under short range? How many kilometers comes under medium range and long range? 8,000. So what about based on the path? Trajectory and parabolic. Okay, parabolic comes under ballistic missiles, and next one is cruise missiles. So which is advantageous, ballistic or cruise? So tell me about example of cruise missiles that you know. Agni is ballistic or cruise? Prithvi? Think. Very good, science and technology. Okay, at least tell me examples of missiles. Apart from Agni and Prithvi. BrahMos, okay. Next. BrahMos. S-400 Triumph missile. Okay, next. From which country we got S-400? Russia. Okay, next. Tell me, tell me. Come on, recall. Examples of missiles. Okay, so based on where we are using, how many kinds we have? Air to air. Next. Surface to surface, surface to air. So tell me any example of air to air missile. One simple code. Astra. A. Astra. ASTRA. Astra missile. It is starting with A and ending with A. It is air to air missile. Example. Next. Any examples of surface to surface? Read this topic today after the class. Afternoon, after your polity class, sit on this and read these missiles. Every year you will be getting one question, guys, from prelims. This is very easy area to score more. Just one table, if you by heart, that your work is done. Okay, say this article, India, Bangladesh to make land ports always operational. So what is this article? So yesterday what we discussed about this topic? We are going to have agreements on land ports. Okay, so because of this land port agreements, what will be the advantages? Land port agreement advantages. Yesterday we discussed. Infrastructure, next. Maintaining of border, connectivity, next to stop refugees or illegal migrants. Okay, see this article, next. CO2 emissions set to rise 0.8% this year. India's contribution to go up by 4.6%. What is this article talking about? Carbon dioxide emissions are going to increase. So what happens whenever there is increasing of carbon dioxide emissions? Global warming. Okay, so which are the three topmost contributors of carbon dioxide emissions in the world? US, China, India. So now if we are going to increase this 0.8% this year, then what will be the impact? This study is saying that the emissions from India will be increased by 0.8%. So what will be the impact on India's NDCs? Are you getting my question? No. Yes, here already India is the third largest emitter of this carbon dioxide emissions in the world. You know this. Now we are going to further increase emissions of 0.8% from India. So India is having its own targets of reducing of carbon dioxide emissions. But on another side, here we are going to increase furthermore carbon dioxide emissions. Then what will be the impact on India in international arena? And at the national level, so what will be the impact on our country's targets? Okay, so I will give you main question on this, then you will write, obviously. Okay, CO2 emissions are projected to rise by 0.8% in 2024. So here India's contribution to this carbon dioxide emissions will be increased by 4.6% now. Okay, so here there is increasing of global emissions are happening, and this report is saying that major emitters like China, US and India, they dominate fossil CO2 contributions. So here we need to take urgent need so that we can achieve the target of our Paris climate deal of decreasing of temperature by 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade. And we have to keep our global temperatures under control, or else it will be going to be a climate disaster. So if you see the key facts given here, so this article is saying that emission trend is increasing. So there is increasing of carbon dioxide emissions from India by 0.8% despite global efforts. So it indicates that fossil fuel consumption remains unabated. So we are not decreasing the using of the fossil fuels. But even though whenever government is focusing on transition towards renewable energy, and our government of India already claimed that we achieve target of a solar energy of 125 gigawatts and we increase it to 500 gigawatts, right? So what is the use? This is the one question that is going to be that we are going to face in the international arena. And next one here is, so because of this increasing of 0.8% of carbon dioxide emissions into atmosphere, so India is going to be contribute to the 4.6% of increasing of emissions at the global level. So here it says that there is increasing of industrial activity and there is increasing of energy needs of the people. So here now we have to focus on a balanced economic growth with environmental responsibilities as well. And here we have to focus on targeting the international policies so that we can effectively address this climate change. And we have to put a cap on the industries which they are releasing this carbon dioxide emissions now. And next one here is, we have to decrease this concentration of carbon dioxide levels of 422.5 parts per million so that we can address this challenge of climate change, or else we can't. So these are the steps we have to take in the future. Okay, so these are the things which mainly said. And there is one more article, guys, a mixed report card for IMEC. So what is this IMEC? India Middle East Economic Corridor. So which countries are part of this IMEC? India? Countries. How many routes? How many routes? No idea? Do this work. So here you have to see about what is IMEC, draw the map of IMEC, and you have to see the routes, and you have to see what are the advantages of this IMEC. Okay, what are the challenges in this IMEC? Okay, see this topic, and this is very important. Okay, so that's all, guys. So these were the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. And we are providing daily current affairs quiz and also word of the day and also daily one mains question in our Telegram channel. So please do join that channel, and the link is given in description box. Thank you guys for watching.